Johan Vande Lanotte, a former Belgian minister and executive member of the Turkey Tribunal for Human Rights Violation in Turkey, has said that Turkey should be tried at the International Criminal Court. Speaking on Belgium's official state radio, Vande Lanotte stated that they will go to The Hague with 900 witness statements and evidence of torture. Lanotte said that Turkey fully complies with the definition of the court. According to Vande Lanotte, the Turkish state abducts and imprisons an average of 1,000 people each year, including those with refugee status and those living abroad. He also stated in a speech on the radio that at least 10,000 people were accused of being terrorists because of their sympathy for a movement and imprisoned for years.
The facts of tortures and forced disappearance, because we had these reports. We had the estimation of the 3,000 allegations, complaints about torture yearly. We have the 95 well-documented abductions. I will not come back on that. We have the reports on that, would be a waste of time.
Lanotte stated that they have been putting together documents of the war crimes committed for 2.5 years, which is why they established the Turkish tribunal and continued their work. Vande Lanotte stated that they have been collecting evidence of Turkish state war crimes for 2 years. He said that approximately 800 torture witnesses, 60 kidnappings, and 2,000 arbitrary detentions have been documented. He emphasized that the International Criminal Court in The Hague was founded 20 years ago to prosecute suspects of war crimes and crimes against humanity. And Erdogan's Turkey fits the definition perfectly. In the Turkey Tribunal Court, witnesses who were kidnapped, tortured, and subjected to unlawful treatment in trials told their experiences.
Aggregate of random
Mustafa Karasu, a member of the KCK Executive Council, spoke to Medyanews television broadcast on the anniversary of the February 15th International Conspiracy on Tuesday. Karasu stated that leader Öcalan's paradigm threatens the 21st century goals of the conspiratorial forces. Therefore, the conspiracy was carried out.
Şimdi 20. yüzyılda bir Orta Doğu düzeni kurulmuştu. Orta Doğu düzeni kurulmuştu. Bu Orta Doğu düzeni tabii uluslararası güçlerin çıkarına hizmet eden bir düzendi. Önder Apo'nun öncündeki Kürt Özgürlük Hareketi ise gerçekten Orta Doğu'da köklü bir değişimi, dengeleri alt üst edecek bir değişimi hedefliyordu. Önder Apo, Kürt Özgürlük Hareketi'ni geliştirerek bu düzeni tehdit etti. PKK'ya karşı hep düşmanlık yaptılar. NATO PKK'ya karşı savaş açtı. Bu nedenle Türk devletine destek verdi. Bu yönüyle Önder Apo'ya 23 yılda sahiplenmek. Çünkü Önder Apo halklar arası bir çözüm istiyordu. Halkların kardeşine dayalı bir çözüm arzuluyor. Bu yönüyle işbirlikçiliğe karşı mücadele eden, işbirlikçiliği dayalı düzeni Orta Doğu'ya yıkmak isteyen Önder Apo'yu tabii kendileri için tehlikeli gördüler. Bu bakımdan uluslararası komployu gerçekleştirdiler. Öte yandan uluslararası komplonun gerçekleştirdiği...
Shops have been shuttered across North and East Syria to mark the 23rd anniversary of the arrest and capture of Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan. Alongside the public demonstration of support for the detained political figurehead, marches took place across 14 and 15 February in all major cities in the autonomous region of NES. Mr. Öcalan's philosophy of democratic confederalism has found its most concrete manifestations and worldwide interest and support in NES, where millions of Arabs, Kurds, and members of the ethnic minorities live in a political system based on Mr. Öcalan's work. Alongside the cessation of business, traffic was halted across the region. At the same time, on February 15th, then marches took place in major population centers including Qamishlo, Haseki, the Euphrates region, Shehba, Aleppo, and Tabqa. Qamishlo is the region's largest Kurdish majority city and de facto capital. Speaking at a demonstration in the city attended by tens of thousands of supporters, Kurdish political figure and advisor to the autonomous administration, Medyanews Kurd said, 15 February marks 23 years since Mr. Öcalan's capture in Kenya. Since then, he's been detained on the island of Imrali, held in virtual isolation and conditions amounting to torture. His last contact with the outside world was a brief phone call in March 21 to dispel rumors of his death, and his lawyers and family have just been informed it will be many more months before they can hope to contact him again.
To realize that
protests over the ongoing detention and isolation of Abdullah Öcalan have reached as far as Australia, with a number of political figures taking to the street to show their support for the imprisoned Kurdish leader. Alongside demonstrations in European capitals, members of the Kurdish community and their friends and supporters in the Australian political sphere gathered in front of the New South Wales State Parliament in Sydney.
We're here today to show our solidarity with Kurdish leader Mr. Abdullah Öcalan. He's been in prisoner for 24 years today.
Green Party MPs David Shoebridge and Jamie Parker, Green Party Senator Leah Rinnan, religious official Bill Cruz, Green Left Weekly columnist Peter Boyle, and Sydney PEN board member Kurdish writer Manur Rezaki attended the demonstration and condemned Mr. Öcalan's detention. International intelligence agencies worked together with the Turkish intelligence service MIT to oversee the capture in 1999, while a number of international governments also refused Mr. Öcalan's asylum.
Because that's all the Kurdish people have been asking for, and it's a demand that echoes back centuries. So we're here today to make a number of key demands. First, for the Australian government to end the silence on Öcalan's ongoing inhuman detention, and call upon the Australian government to make an immediate demand for the release of Öcalan's history.
The demonstration was also attended by members of Sydney's Kurdish population.
And in the Kurdish community, and his release is critical.
Posters have appeared across London in a major media campaign highlighting the detention of Abdullah Öcalan. Over 200 bus stops and 60 billboards were decorated with media as part of a major outreach campaign coordinated by the Kurdish People's Assembly, the representative body which lobbies on behalf of the UK's estimated 400,000 Kurds. The posters asked the questions: could you live in a Turkish prison for days in solitary confinement? They highlight the fact that Mr. Öcalan has been detained for more than 8,400 days in conditions condemned by the International Committee to Prevent Torture. The Kurdish Assembly's Erdoğan said, as part of a process that has grown and spread throughout the UK, and on the occasion of the 15th anniversary of the international conspiracy, we are distributing news about Öcalan around London. The campaign comes on the back of adverts concerning Mr. Öcalan's appearing in 86 newspapers across the country. While tonight, we will see UK trade unionist and parliamentary representative attend a digital rally in support of the cause. Shells launched by the Turkish armed forces and the proxies in the Syrian National Army have landed in Tel Rifat, the main city in the isolated Shehba region. Shehba is home to tens of thousands of Kurdish IDPs who fled Turkey's 2018 invasion and occupation of Afrin, the majority Kurdish region isolated from the remainder of North and East Syria. Since then, the region has come under regular assault, resulting in multiple civilian casualties. At the same time, local sources report the movement of drones belonging to the TAF across major regional population centers, including Qamishlo. Up to 200,000 civilians were displaced and hundreds killed in the assault on Afrin. Many of those displaced now live in the isolated Shehba region, where they also suffer under an embargo imposed by the Syrian government. Protests in support of Abdullah Öcalan have taken place across the Kurdistan region of Iraq, also known by its Kurdish name of Bashur. In addition to protests across northern East Syria and among Kurdish diaspora communities, protests took place in Suleymania, Germian, and other locations including the Kandil region where the Kurdish PKK guerrilla maintains a strong presence. In Suleymania, hundreds of people marched to the Azadi or Freedom Park, displaying PKK flags and pictures of Mr. Öcalan. In a statement, Shoresh Khidir of the South Kurdistan Committee for Öcalan's Freedom said, "It is time for the Kurdish people to live freely, with dignity and with pride. It is time to reap the fruit of decades of struggle and resistance and establish a system of democratic confederalism in Kurdistan and the wider region." Another protest took place in the Kandil Mountains, long considered a stronghold by the PKK, also known as the Kurdistan Worker Party. Banners at the march displayed the slogan, "It is time for Öcalan's freedom," forming part of an international campaign of the name demanding Öcalan's immediate release.